This presidential race has not been called, but it's certainly leaning in one direction. What are you seeing where you are?
Well, I'm at the China International Import Expo, one of the largest trade fairs that China has. The premier was speaking yesterday. He was talking about the rise of protectionism and unilateralism. He didn't mention the United States, but on the eve of the U.S. vote, it was clear he was mentioning indirectly the United States. And of course, Donald Trump has at least proposed an across-the-board tariff of 60% on all Chinese imports into the United States. And that's going to affect a lot of the people here in the booths behind me. I'm at the USDA, the Department of Agriculture booths at the CIIE, including California wines. Believe me, the bottles of wine have already been opened and they are drinking. Back behind them is Idaho Grains and Pulses. And I heard one of the persons there manning the counter. He was asked by a Chinese media about the election and who was better for his business. He says, if Harris or Trump, we're still going to do business. But keep in mind, that's a big tax on products coming from China, across the board 60%. And I talked to the American Chamber of Commerce Shanghai chairman. He said, look, it looks as though American companies are going to have to be prepared for a longer tariff era, regardless of Harris or Trump in the White House. Because keep in mind, Joe, the Biden administration, they did not remove any of the tariffs that Trump imposed, 360 billion US dollars worth of goods from China, and they added to them as well, including export controls on sensitive semiconductor and computer products.
Well, that's an excellent point, Stephen. Of course, it becomes a question of scale as Donald Trump is talking about significantly larger tariffs that could be potentially much more economically damaging to both China and the U.S. With that in mind, is there a feeling in China that that could actually mean more domestic stimulus comes?
Yeah, that's right. There's a big reason why the National People's Congress, which is essentially the legislature of China, the all-powerful standing committee of that body, has been meeting this week in Beijing. They usually have that meeting at the end of October. They delayed it. We're going to get a meeting ended on Friday, and we're likely to get a stimulus number of fiscal stimulus. And there's a lot of speculation that they've waited to see the results of this election to see where that fiscal stimulus, trillions, potentially trillions of dollars of stimulus, where that will go. Exporters are going to be hurt further, potentially, by a rise of tariffs, no doubt. And they are really hedging their bets that perhaps if Donald Trump does come back as the results are coming in right now, that there's going to need to be more aid for exporters here at a time of persistent deflation, industrial overcapacity, a slowing Chinese economy. So absolutely, all eyes are watching that U.S. election results. In fact, state media has been keeping quiet until today. Front page articles saying, calling the American election unprecedented chaos and money-burning display. They're kind of bringing out the knives right now to attack American democracy. We'll see what they have to say tomorrow.